So I recently reviewed the two M1 MacBooks, and as general purpose ultra portable laptops, they are well worth picking up. But one is a clear choice over the other. Let me explain. You're watching Tech Finder. As always, links to everything we talk about are in the description below. And hey, if this video was useful to you, throw us a like when we're done. My biggest issue with the two laptops is their lack of ports. Only two on the side and a 3.5mm audio jack on the right. This is not enough. So I get the MacBook Air only having two USB-C/Thunderbolt ports. It's meant to be a light and thin, general purpose, ultra portable laptop. It's not ideal, but it's fine. The MacBook Pro though, I don't know. I feel like a Pro would want access to more than one or two ports, and it is only one if you're charging it. And yes, I know you could just get a dongle, but that is a computer part that you can lose, break, or just plain forget. And sometimes that dongle might not even be enough if you want to use a setup where you've got a display, a mouse, a keyboard, a card reader, and a hard drive involved, which might sound like a lot, but that's a pretty common setup for a lot of content creators I know, including me. There will be times where you either don't have a dongle or you need more than what your dongle can give you. Certainly happened to me a few times. I feel like if you are relying on this for professional work, the number of ports on this laptop are just not going to be enough. And this speaks to a bigger point where I don't think the M1 MacBook Pro is going to be the right product for most people. If I were a professional in the market for a laptop that can just do it all and get my work done, I'd probably want a bit more than what these laptops can offer. If we just look at these and what they excel at, which is being ultra portable, really powerful laptops, I think the MacBook Air is going to be fine for most people. And look, I even gravitated towards it during my testing. A major reason I actually did gravitate towards the Air was because it didn't have the touch bar. On the Pro, this replaces the top row of function keys with this context-specific touchscreen thing. In the review, I said this: if you buy the Pro, you also get your top row of keys replaced with the context-sensitive touch bar, which works totally fine, but I wouldn't say is a must-have accessory. But just between you and me, I don't like it at all. Now, this is just a personal nitpick, but I'm someone who rarely looks at their keyboard while using it. My fingers just know where to go. The touch bar ruins that experience a little bit. Now I'm having to look down more often because I don't know what it's displaying at any given time. That's just me though. I've never liked it since it got invented, but I know a lot of other people do get use out of it. Yeah, look, I just wish the MacBook Pro had the option to include it rather than being all or nothing. Whether you love or hate the touch bar though, there are a couple of reasons you may want to go for the Pro. The Pro has a fan that dissipates heat. The Air does not. Both of these laptops have the exact same inside, so the only edge the Pro has over the Air is the fan, which allows it to cool itself down. In all my testing though, the Pro barely spun up its fans at all, even during like big video exports. So even then, because these computers are so efficient, I'm not even sure you'll need the fan that often unless you're doing some real intense graphics work or high-res video editing. The performance is pretty much the same. The other reason you may opt for the Pro though is the battery. The battery in both of these is incredible and lasts a really long time. The Pro tends to get a couple more hours use out of its larger battery though, so if you feel like you really need it, the more expensive MacBook Pro has got you covered. As these devices age and the batteries start to lose their youthful energy, that extra battery capacity may come in useful, especially if you're the sort of person who buys a laptop and uses it for years before upgrading. There are a few other small differences between these two that aren't as apparent. The MacBook Pro is actually only 110 grams heavier, so both are super portable. The trackpad is a centimeter wider, don't know why. The MacBook Pro's screen is slightly brighter. It has high dynamic range speakers. Yeah, it's so slight, it's actually quite hard to show you that one. And the Pro has a slightly better microphone. Can you tell the difference? When you put the two laptops side by side, it does become slightly noticeable, but I wouldn't say it's worth $400. I'd only consider paying that extra $400 if I was running my battery dry every couple of days, if I really love the touch bar, and if I thought I needed my computer to be at peak performance quite often. But if you are looking for a laptop that you need to be running at peak performance that often, it's probably a work machine, in which case you'll probably want a bigger screen and more RAM and definitely more ports. These two laptops are just the first generation of what the M1 chip can do. I really think Apple's just using them to test the waters. Then they're really going to blow us away with something big. There are almost certainly bigger and more powerful M1 laptops coming soon. So if I was really wanting an M1 chip in a powerful computer, I'd probably wait before purchasing one of these. So that kind of leaves this laptop in an odd position. It's not quite pro enough for the pros and kind of too expensive for the people who just need a normal ultra portable. So my advice, if you want to experience these amazing new laptops from Apple, just get the Air. It's great.